Hello, welcome to New Buckenham War Games Club. And today we've got a Second World War game which is loosely based on the Rhine crossing. So by January 1945, the Germans' Ardennes offensive had petered out, and it had been costly for both sides. The Germans had retreated over the Rhine. The American 7th Division had managed to capture the railway bridge at Remagen, but there were no bridges over the Rhine. So this is the table set up. Effectively, this is the Rhine here. Then we've got the advances to a canal in the centre, and with a bridge over, and the road that leads across the border is effectively the road that leads to Wesel. So by the time of March 1945, there were around 4 million troops along the length of the Rhine, almost from its source to the sea. And Montgomery issued the orders for Operation Plunder, which was the crossing of the Rhine, on the 7th of March. This comprised the 9th US Army advancing on the right, and the British Second Army, which is essentially British and Canadians, on the left. The main thrust was towards the town of Wesel, which was a communications centre, and that threatened, had a fairly strong garrison, and it threatened the crossings up and down the Rhine. So that particular operation was Operation Widgeon, which was the Commando Brigade, their crossing of the Rhine, to advance inland and then swing right to Wesel. This was coupled with one of the largest airborne landing of the war. So 16,000 men dropped by parachute and glider to the northwest of Wesel, and their job was to pin down the forces around Wesel and also link up with the Commandos moving inland. We've compressed some of the timelines because the amphibious assault of the Rhine took place during the night, and the airborne landing inland took place 12 hours later. But for the purpose of the game, it's happening simultaneously. The rules we're using are chain of command, with the big chain of command supplement, which allows for multiple players, and one of the scenarios from the Blitzkrieg book, which is the strike from above, which will be for the parachute landing. The forces we've got on the British side, for the airborne landing, we've got a platoon from the 8th Parachute Regiment. That's just a normal airborne platoon. The players will need to select support options to go with that. On the British side, for the river assault, we've got two sections from number 46 Royal Marine Commandos. One of the sections equipped with Vickers K LMGs, and the other sections equipped with Brens. And then defending the the canal crossing and the road leading to Wesel, we've got two Grenadier platoons from the 84th Infantry Division, one of which we haven't got laid out yet. So based upon the points system in big chain of command and generally within chain of command, the Germans will have quite a lot of options, support options to choose from, whereas the British should be fairly limited because you've only got two German platoons and you've got three British, so there's an imbalance there, and the Germans get a lot more support options. But it'll be quite a challenge for the players to select those options because they won't know whether particularly the British won't know whether the Germans have got any armour or not. Okay, so we'll have to wait for everybody to see you again Welcome back. We've concluded our big chain of command game using the chain of command rules and the big chain of command supplement. So at this end of the table with the Rhine River here, the commandos, the two commando platoons or sections as they're described as the Royal Marine Commandos, their advance pretty well got bogged down in the marshy areas. They were pinned down by some accurate MG fire from the Germans who were in the houses and the emplacements and the blockhouse. Despite bringing on their LVTs, which have their heavy machine guns, they really couldn't make much of a headway, although the platoon on the far side was making good progress, but the platoon on this side of the table had a harder time of it and had a couple of sections broken. So they didn't make too much of an inroads off of the beach, didn't really establish a bridgehead there. Meanwhile, over on this side of the table, the other side of the canal, the airborne really pushed hard in on the village and occupied the farmhouse here and pushed the Germans back into defensive positions around the houses. And that really then bogged down into a bit of a firefight. The airborne chipping away at the Germans, it ebbed and flowed a bit. But at the end of the day, I think it's a German victory because the British didn't, like, they failed to get through to the bridge and secure the road leading off towards Vessel. So the final airborne positions over here, they had a section which was trying to get into the village. There's another section over here, but as I say, didn't really get that far. So hopefully you've enjoyed the overview of how the game turned out. And thanks so much for watching.